SR-72 hypersonic test aircraft spotted at a Skunk Works facility. Is it true? SR-72 possible sightings have flooded the internet. Recently, an unmanned aircraft was seen at a Skunk Works facility. Reports say it could have been an early test for the SR-72. Considering how competent Lockheed and their Air Force colleagues are at keeping secrets, the SR-72's strange grey world existence makes little sense. And hey, something has to live in that huge new remote hangar at Skunk Works. Maybe that facility's tenant is the aircraft SR-72. In the end, I would suggest being open to taking SR-72 related news as more of an indication of what is, instead of what could be. Months later, Aviation Week seems to be pushing a similar narrative outright, and not only that, they even published the description of a supposed sighting of a hypersonic demonstrator with remarkably few caveats, with the latest Aviation Week article stating, Lockheed Martin is ramping up development of hypersonic system technology as observers report the first sightings of a demonstrator vehicle believed to be linked to the Skunk Works planned SR-72 high-speed aircraft project. According to information provided to Aviation Week, one such technology demonstrator, believed to be an unmanned subscale aircraft, was observed flying into the U.S. Air Force's Plant 42 at Palmdale, where Skunk Works is headquartered. The vehicle, which was noted landing in the early hours at an unspecified date in last month, was seen with two T-38 escorts. Lockheed Martin declined to comment directly on the sighting. We have no clue where, or more accurately who Aviation Week got this report from, but it has spread through the aviation and defense communities like wildfire. The problem with publishing something like this without the author providing further context is that it is taken by many as fact, which it is not. The sighting itself, as described, has its own issues. First off, we have no index regarding the quality of the source. Second, if they did indeed see a clandestine aircraft, how would they even know what they were looking at and be able to decipher the aircraft's specific mission or affiliated program? We don't know the exact design configuration of a hypersonic demonstrator even if it exists. All we have been told by Lockheed is that it would be approximately the size of an F-22. But even that could have changed. Additionally, as noted by the article, this sighting didn't occur during daylight hours, so how did the viewer even make out enough details on the aircraft to be able to make a guess as to its origins one way or another? Then there is the question of who the aircraft even belonged to if the sighting of something previously undisclosed did indeed occur. Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and Lockheed all have massive compounds at Plant 42. The airfield is huge. Even seeing where an aircraft taxis to from an approach end of one of its runways is questionable, especially for a clandestine test article flying in low light conditions. If the sighting is true, and some exotic test aircraft did fly back to Plant 42 instead of being shipped there as is known to be common, it could have belonged to Boeing or Northrop Grumman, not just Lockheed Martin. And above all else, how is it certain that what the person saw was indeed a high-speed demonstrator instead of one of a whole slew of rumored black programs or ones that otherwise remain totally unknown? But there can be no doubt that the Pentagon is becoming highly concerned with America's hypersonic gap as its peer state competitors forge ahead quickly with the game-changing technology. So far it seems that America's potential foes have concentrated on the development of hypersonic cruise missile technology. With the USAF feeling behind the curve, a hypersonic platform, a reusable aircraft capable of launching its own weapons and carrying reconfigurable sensors, is likely a prime developmental target that can close that gap and reach a position of superiority in the hypersonic realm in one fell swoop. So as we said months ago, could there be a hypersonic SR-72 demonstrator aircraft? Are there? Yes. In fact, it seems more probable than possible, and this aircraft could have existed in the past, not the present. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.